Okay, I'm Rapid Cabot Freeman, and once again, the witch is back. Today, I want to talk about some of the exciting things that are going on here in Kingwood, West Virginia. As everybody knows, in 2009, I left the Cabot Temple because at that moment in time, sadly, that's what I had to do to continue to serve witchcraft. Um, Pop culture had taken it over, and basically everything I loved and cared about has been ruined. Um, when I first decided to become a Cabot, it was because I respected the principles of witchcraft as a science and everything like that, and I still do. But it got too clicky. Lori even went so far as to initiate a dog third degree so that she could have a tarot job at Crowhaven Corner. Um, if you don't believe me, Google it. And so I needed to leave there to better serve the craft. I mean, anyone that knows me knows that, I've been doing this since I was 16. Okay. And as far as like the leftist newspapers in Connecticut are concerned, I was more hated at that time than they hate Donald Trump now. And that was because I stuck up for you guys. I am the only person that was a seated member in the Witches League for all three of the names. Witches League for Public Awareness, Witches Public Awareness League, and Project Witches Protection. I was the Connecticut Information Resource Person. Then I became the Connecticut State Representative, all the way up to the very end. And at the meeting where they decided to merge it, the person that came up with the name for the organization that regrettably took it over that I couldn't be part of, which is Education League. Well, I'm the one that came up with that name. That was my name. So I've been serving the craft for a very, very long time. Did a lot of activism work through, the Witching Hour in Connecticut and throughout New England, and now I'm still using the blog because they're getting rid of the public television funding across the country and getting rid of the studios because people were using them too well, like myself. So where I live in Kingwood, West Virginia, there's no real way to broadcast anything. Um, I'm a working guy. Anything that I do it on my own dime. And now that I'm retired, I'm not as wealthy as I once was. But wanted to talk to you today about this. Blood Hammer. Um, Firstblood tradition of American witchcraft. Firstblood tradition globally. Um, the meaning of the symbol is Excalibur for Britannia and the Thor's hammer for the North. And basically, it's where they're superimposed. What this means is um, from the southernmost point of Britannia to the northernmost point of the Northland. If you stand in honor for the pagan way of life, you're a brother. You're a coveted kindred. That's who you are. Going to be a Firstblood temple opening up in Lübeck, Germany, uh, under the tutelage of Sabrina Morrison, a woman I have the deepest respect for. Very learned lady, studied real witchcraft, real Norse, and that Coven Kindred over there is going to make us proud and makes me happy because she told me that it's going to be ran like the United Witches of Europe, which was the original intention of Firstblood anyway. I know people, get a little bit upset when I bash Unitarianism. And the reason I bash it is because it's too watered down. The words Unitarian and eclectic have kind of become a joke. And the original principles of it are great. Okay, eclectic, basically taking from everything. But the problem with that is that, you know, you've got this thing that you've pouring so much of other things in, and it becomes so diluted that you don't know what the original thing is anymore. My problem with the Unitarian Church is nothing's wrong, so nothing can be right. Uh, Basically, most of the people that are in the Unitarian Church, and they'll never admit this to you, are because they don't have the balls to stand up and say, I'm a heathen, I'm a pagan. That's it. Okay? Oh, I'm a member of the Unitarian Church. Okay, fine. You know, everybody leaves you alone. Okay, but you're really not standing up for anything. And that's the deal with that. But as far as like the Firstblood is concerned, okay, we're standing up. Um, we're not going to be the people that are silenced. Firstblood, believe me, isn't for everybody. It's a tradition that involves being real, being truthful, and being honest. And the problem with that nowadays is being real and truthful and honest. Everything that political correctness stands for, okay, is geometrically opposed to being honest and truthful and loyal and decent. Um, we've got a problem in the world. We've got a problem that threatens our very beings. Um, People don't want to hear this, so I'll be the one to say it, and you can just like slam the mongoose to death over this, because I've been getting slammed for it my whole life. But oh, the burning times will never be back. Guess what? They're back. They're back worse than they ever were. Okay? Oh, the Inquisition, yada, yada, yada. You know what? There's a new Inquisition. There's a new, more evil, disgusting Inquisition. And it's called Islam. Okay? If you're a Christian, if you're a pagan, if you're a Jew, if you're an atheist that wants to live in a sane world, if you're a Buddhist, guess what? We're all the witches this time. This go around of the burning times, we're all the witches. I don't care what religious symbol you're wearing around your neck. Okay? If you're not bowing down to Islam, you are hunted. It's that simple. And you have a duty as a decent person, particularly, if you're an American, you have a right to it. In Europe, I don't even know if you have a right to it, but I believe you have an inborn right to it. Okay? Go out and obtain a gun. If you can do it legally, do it legally. If you have to do it illegally, do it illegally. Because you have an inborn right to protect your family, to protect your way of life, and to protect your kindred. And that's what needs to be done right now. Okay? I'm all about live and let live. Okay? But your rights stop when my rights are going to be taken away from me. That's when your rights stop. When somebody like myself, that's half Cherokee hillbilly and half German, can't have a sausage sandwich in the morning because it might offend a Muslim that I'm actually eating what I want to eat. There is something wrong with this world. And the fact that everybody is afraid to say anything about it. You know what's really disgusting to me? Sweden. Sweden, for God's sakes. The home of the Vikings wasn't taken by the sword. It was taken by the pen and political correctness. And Sweden, for all intents and purposes, beautiful Sweden is destroyed. Destroyed. There are Muslim clergy after Muslim clergy after Muslim clergy that are openly telling people to rape non-Islamic women and to breed the white race and anything that doesn't bow down to Islam to non-existence. Non-existence. And then they're using their political connections to support politicians that are going for this uh, Muslim state Borg, if you will, collective. What do you think the EU is? Think about it for a minute. The EU is a great big game of three card Monty. And you know who's winning on that one? The Muslims, Islam. And everybody's like, oh, all Muslims aren't terrorists. Well, let me tell you something right now. CARE, they support Al Qaeda and they support ISIS. The Islamic Brotherhood's list of contributors. And if you want to go on uh, ACT's website, um, uh, and Bridget's got to post it over there. Okay. Every organization, the Muslim Students Union, CARE, all of these places are on the list of the supporters. Okay? They're supporting terrorism. Why do you think Black Lives Matter can get away with whatever the hell they want? Because of Louis Farrakhan. That's why. And you have a duty to teach your children what's really right. Okay? And what's really right is that they have the same rights as everybody else. And they need to stand up and they need to fight for them. I am the proud son of an American combat veteran. Okay? I'm not sitting 15 feet away from the flag that covered my father's coffin. Okay? My dad fought for my rights. My dad fought for my way of life. And I want to get my father his money's worth. I want to keep it. We're going forward with Firstblood. It's not for everybody. I'd like to think 10% of the people in the craft could hang with us. Truth of the matter is, I doubt they can. But, it's not a mood ring. It's real occultism. That's what it is. And I've got my friends that are the leaders of other occult organizations, and I respect them greatly. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. We're going to have a system where I'm doing away with the Firstblood tartan. It was a remnant from the Cabot Temple that I was carrying over, and it's dead. It's used its purpose, and we're going to be patching people in on the 16th of June out there in that circle, and I'm going to be sending some patches over to Sabina in Lübeck, Germany, and she's going to be patching people in over there. And every place you see this, you're going to know that they stand for real paganism, real heathenism, and truth. That's what we stand for. Because, like I said, pagan, heathen, Christian, Jew, we are all the witches in this one. And the burning times are now. I'm Rapid Cabot Freeman. Fight the good fight. Raise your children to love the goddess and love the earth, and to love their self enough to speak the truth when it's unpopular. So mote it be.